Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Thursdays Business Acceleration Thursday with Butterfly Love Academy. My name is Mary May. I am your coach, leader, consultant, and coming to you on a Thursday and wanting to jump in to just kind of pour into you to provide whatever support that we can find being beneficial to you. And I wanted to, today's conversation is are you falling into being an imposter? Looking for my thing. I'm so sorry. Are you falling into being an imposter syndrome, or are you a leader in your space authentically? So, my name again is Mary May. I'm from Butterfly Love Consultations, Butterfly Love Academy, and I provide resources so that you can gain clarity on your goals in I call it like a GPS, your GPS system, so that you can gain the professional development with accountability side by side so that you can get that performance increase that you're looking for. And so, with that in mind, the performance increase would be inclusive but not limited to um, you getting the skill set, you moving out of your way and being able to, gain access in regards to how it is that you can show up in your business effectively. And so that you can, again, be able to position yourself with the skills and not feel handcuffed. So, one of the ways in which um, people generally find themselves feeling handcuffed is that they may be falling into situations such that they're being considered an imposter. And so it's like, okay, are you really being an imposter to your skill set, to what it is that you do? Or are you being a results driven leader and understanding how it is that you show up and how it is that you move out of your way and gaining the resources and tools that benefit not only you but to those in which who you serve. And so because our society often uses things that are identified as a mental health capability or challenge or whatever, sometimes we end up saying, okay, well, if I have imposter syndrome, then it must be true what everybody is saying. And so the thing that I want to clarify is the reason people are identifying or possibly connecting you to being an imposter in your space of leadership is because they're trying to find the evidence of why and how you have chosen to be outside of your comfort zone and excelling in the work that you choose to do. And so when you are pushing outside of your comfort zone, then people are trying to match the footprint maybe for what it is that they have known you to be, how you have shown up in different spaces. Do you have results or are you being a role model? And it's like, okay, how is it, can you discern and determine to give them that footprint that they're looking for so that they can determine if your service and how it is that you work on a day-to-day basis is going to be the best for them. So I think the first thing to do is to look at how is it that we understand and know that how do we understand and value what imposter syndrome truly means. And so before we can get into the benefit of shifting the narrative and understanding how it is that being an having imposter tendencies is not a bad thing, that it actually does show results, it actually does support you, let's look at what it truly authentically is outside of the lens that you may have and understanding it so far. And so the imposter syndrome is defined as a persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or that they have legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. Um, and so you may have worked in different situations and settings, and you have gained different, skill sets. You may be a trainer, you may be a manager, you may be the CEO, however it is, do you feel that you've legitimately achieved it, or do the people who are contemplating the value of what you're trying to offer, that you actually have that? And because of having that doubt and going back and forth questioning where it is that you stand in your space, you begin to allow them to put that energy onto you and saying that you are not authentic in your thought. Another way in which people look at the imposter syndrome is that it's like an internal experience of you just believing that you're not competent, or that you perceive from your mindset of what has been poured into you over time that you don't have the ability or capability to do what it is. And so within Butterfly Love Academy, it's a 12-week program that kind of helps you clarify, demystify, kick that stuff out the window so that you don't have to worry about if in fact what you're doing is what you intend to do, if what you're doing is what you're capable of doing. You begin to get clear focus, laser focus on your intentions, as well as matching your skill set to the audience that is ready to work with you and to excel. It's a 12-week program. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And so the last thing is, I guess when it becomes that compromising conversation of, is imposter syndrome a mental health situation? So as the world has become a little bit more open to understanding like what mental health is and stuff like that, they often want to match the response or the reactivity that you have as a business leader to you may be having anxiety or stress, or like, looking at missed opportunities and how it is that you reframe those on a day-to-day basis. However, it does not match or identify you as a business leader who is creating an imposter or like a false pretense of who it is that you are. It's just a matter of you recognizing that there may have been some experiences that you have had that place you in different chapters in your life, different seasons, different ways in which you have grown, and being able to determine if you are aligned in the best way possible. And so when you look at the things that have been developed in the programming in your professional scope of work, all of the stains, all of the good lessons, all of the challenging lessons have created a download into you that you have as default reactions, default responses to various situations. So what you have to think about is it something that you learned, or where did you grab from that may have been developed in your earlier years of life that is a natural skill that you live with, but that you have the ability to look at it in a different way? And so the programming and the downloads is sometimes where we have to start the conversation to kind of demystify, reorganize, and claim your frame of you showing up in the authority of your space as a leader and in the authority of how it is that you exist, because you want to be able to move, forward and move forward effectively. So the question comes, are you a results driven leader, or are you a model driven leader? This is the conversation when emerging into your space of excellence as a leader and really taking authority of how it is that you show up and seeing, okay, are you functioning out of your comfort zone? Are you really thinking outside of the box? Are you doing something, and is it time for you to like really just claim what it is that you do well, how it is that you do it well, and how it is that you could transfer it to assist other individuals who decide or would love to have leadership in their work, and in leadership and understanding that they can assume that role of authority in the things that they have done well based on the things that they have already done. And because you have already done it, you just need to have some type of support to kind of shape it, reframe it, and place it where people understand and understand how it is that you can serve them in the best level possible. So if you are a role model you're an entrepreneur on fire. You are knocking it out the box, but sometimes you may consider taking lower costs or lower driven contracts just so that you can kind of gain your experience. You're facilitating, you're teaching, you are a confidence builder, and people actually connect to you. That is evidence that you have a skill set, you have resources, you have information, you have something in that content that's important to you that can help someone else be able to see themselves through you. So it's like you can take that role as the model driven leader and cancel out being an imposter, because you have done the work, you have evidence of doing the work, and you have evidence on how you can help others be able to do that work or do what they're doing more effectively. So it's like, as the authority in your space, where do you see yourself in the mirror? If you're a results driven leader, then show that, because you more than likely have a footprint that can help you design, understand, inform others in regards to what the results are from, say, like in my 12-week program. What are the results? The results are going to be that within the 12-week process, you will again have clarity on a personal GPS of your professional and personal goals. It's going to improve who you are and how it is that you show up in your profession, as well as help you secure higher paying contracts and or the performance increase as far as a promotion or something that you're looking for in that way. And how we're going to do that is with clarity, performance, professional development, as well as being very, very open to the accountability side by side that's going to get you to that next level of what it is that you're interested in. So it's like being mindful of how it is that you show up as the authority in leadership in the things that you find are being important to you. It cancels the conversation of anyone questioning if you are showing up as an imposter in your field. So, who is it that you see in the mirror? When you think about yourself being a results driven leader in the work that you choose to do, you have the knowledge base, you have the skill set that either you've gotten additional training for, you've went to school, you've done X amount of years working in the field, but you also have had some level of accountability that has built and poured into you so that you can have the information that you needed, and you've done that with support. So it's like, who do you see in the mirror? And then if you don't see knowledge, accountability, and support when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you look at your skill set, then where is it that you need to push some survival mechanisms or some skill sets into the holes, and how can you do that with what support? So as a business accelerator, we will be able to kind of identify those points, put the resources intact, be it say systems that you need to organize, how it is people reach out to you, if it is the content that you're given and content that is of purpose and in purpose, and then you being able to move yourself from point A to point B to point C to point D and so forth. And the thing is that is important is that most of the time, if we are going through the entire alphabet and we start in at A, people are like, I just want the results. I just want to be able to do what it is that I need to do. Well, if you skip the steps, then you fall into being an imposter, because you're not doing the work that it takes to kind of peel back those layers so that you can get above the barriers that have blocked you with every other business opportunity that you have attempted. So you have to be very cautious on doing the work in each step along the way, so then that way you can be able to appreciate when you get to the end of whatever the strategy, the skill set, the professional development, the awareness, the GPS, the performance increase, the promotion, your successfulness, and whatever it is that you target yourself within the program, then you're able to see how it is that you will value every little nooks and crannies. It's just like if somebody is in the kitchen cooking and they miss a couple steps of the recipe and then it doesn't come out right. You don't want your end product of how it is that you show up as a leader to not come up right. So it's like, let's make sure that when we get into the kitchen, when we get into the boardroom, that we show up well done, seasoned well, and with the toolkit that we need. The challenge is that sometimes people stay stuck and they become, given that they're only just need some really curtailed season accountability and support. And so it's like, how is it that you can move from that point and challenge yourself to think outside the box? You don't want to be in the comfort zone any longer, and you want to be the results driven leader that also is a model leader as well, and that you're able to model with the results of your growth and claiming your space of authority. If you find this information helpful, please feel free to forward it to someone. If you would like to have a no strings attached, no chat, I'm not selling you anything, but if you would like to have that exploratory phone call, just kind of like peel back the layers of what could be your GPS system that would help you identify clearly what your focus is, what your intention should be as you develop as a leader, or as you kind of like zone in on some real target places, feel free to go to workwithmarymay.com and select get a couple days on my calendar to see what times that you can actually connect with me. And then if we find that it's a match, or it's, another ways that you could be resourced through Butterfly Love Academy, then feel free. We can, have that conversation as well. But as a leader, do not have yourself in handcuffs working within systems or within groups, and you're not clearly in the path where you can strongly step up to the plate, identify where your skill sets are strong, build up where they may need some additional support, and be able to move into the performance designs that you seek. So if there are any thoughts, comments, or questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I just thank you for joining me for this Business Acceleration Moment on Thursday, as I come to you every Thursday with some content that of something I've come across with and meeting with people throughout the week. And I believe that it would help others in understanding how they can build their voice, build their advocacy, understand the internal experience that they may be challenged with, and that you are more than capable. You just need to kind of get through the weeds of what's blocking you, or the weeds of how people are trying to handcuff your true authentic ability, and show up as the authority in your space and leadership. Because if we don't get caught up on the word leader, we have to understand that where we are strong in, we are also the leader in that space. And I want you to show up for yourself unapologetically every single time and get the nuggets that you need. So in the meanwhile, and in between time, I look forward to catching you on the other side. Again, there's a couple slots available on my calendar for this week. If anybody wants to have that personal one-on-one exploratory discovery session to see how it is that we can work more effectively together, and build your leadership, your workforce development, reset your focus and your intentions. And again, realizing that the investment that you take, should you decide that Butterfly Love Academy is the best match for you, the investment will be well valued, and it will be side-by-side support that will help you get that performance increase, those high-level contracts, and much, much more. So I look forward to seeing you on the other side. In the meanwhile, you stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Take care.